Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, all praise, all honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and there's a Hindustan Times article pulled up, and it says Jazzy Jeff Island temple gains attention amid eating babies, con to the conspiracy, worshiping Moloch. And yeah, that's what they do. These are the wicked. That's who they worship. Or one of the many gods or deities that they worship, little g. But this is spoken of within the scriptures, and we're seeing it play out in real time. And then right here, you've got this little, right below it, this little fact checker just trying to, push confusion. It says a building on Jazzy Jeff's Island has sparked con to the conspiracy theories about it being a temple though records show it was meant to be a music pavilion. And that's the confusion. That's the lie. This guy, Jazzy Jeff, seems like he might be a high priest on that side, and there's one of his temples that's on his island. And before we get too far into this is a distraction. This whole thing, the elite released it themselves. They're allowing for this to be seen. They are allowing it to be seen, in which this is going to bring their end, but they can't quite see it. The Lord's really behind all of this, but these people release this, and it's just some type of distraction or some type of humiliation ritual or something, but not quite sure yet, but we will find out. We'll keep an eye on this, and it will be seen. But getting back to this, it wasn't just about the touching of little children. They were sacrificing and doing high level wickedness in these high level places. This is straight evil that these people are doing, and people are starting to notice. It says a blue striped building on Jazzy Jeff's Island has led to fresh conspiracy theories about devil worship and child sacrifice. And these are not theories. This is what they are doing. How dare them put that label on there? And at this point, it just is what it is. These are just facts. These are just truth. Haven't people gotten enough of rejecting con to the conspiracy theories? It always turns out right. Since these theories have gained more traction after the Justice Department released the final tranche of documents related to the late convicted child X offender. Since though amplified online, these theories come from unverified profiles and there's no proof to substantiate them. Just look at what they're doing. Look how they are taking out these babies. This is one of the theories doing the rounds, is that the building served as a temple for unsavory worship. Notably, NBC News reported in 2019 that records showed this blue striped building was meant to be a music pavilion, though there were some discrepancies in how the building eventually turned out. Now the alleged temple has gained more attention amid our other theories about eating babies and sacrificing them. To be sure, this is merely online chatter. No, it's not. This is what these people do. Just like the pizza stuff. That was true. And this all goes into it. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. It says, to be sure, this is merely chatter, and Jazzy Jeff has neither been officially accused or charged with any such crime. However, the social media buzz has continued. And while this is a distraction on this part, this also goes into the revealing of the wicked. People are seeing that all of their politicians, all their leaders, their CEOs, their idols within the music and entertainment industry, they're all wicked and all participate in these type of acts, these satanic acts that are going on. This is they're revealing, even though they're the ones controlling this reveal through, or they're controlling it under Yahweh Bashem Yahushai on the left hand. It says children are being offed to gods of the elites on Jazzy Jeff's island. It says the designs and statues on the island represents the Babylonian cultures that worship the same false light Anunnaki gods, which these are just left-hand, I'm not going to say Anunnaki, but just that stuff's all on the left-hand side. It says even their demonic messenger, BS, was there. One person wrote on X. Another added, this is the temple of Moloch on Jazzy Jeff's island. Moloch is a deity associated with child sacrifice, and it is. Israelites even did this. It says they literally worship the devil. Moloch is not the only deity associated with Jazzy Jeff. An alleged account name being Baal had also sparked theories about pagan gods. Yeah, these people are devil worshippers, and they try to pass it off by saying they're the people of the Lord and all these things, but it's just a disguise. They're really Satanists and devil worshippers, carrying on some of the most vile acts known to man. It's said that children were being sacrificed and ate beneath Jazzy Jeff's island temple to Moloch. What happened to this model in Mexico after running out the billionaire's Carlos Slim event? Said yet another person referring to the unexplained disappearance of Gabriela Rico Jimenez. Yeah, I remember that video. And then she got disappeared. And that stuff was true that she was saying. This one profile even claimed, hallowed be the name of the great Moloch. The Jazzy Jeff file scandal revealed this phrase inscribed on the temple wall of the Canaanite god Moloch, who was found on Jazzy Jeff's island, where he kidnapped children and offered them as sacrifices in strange and terrifying rituals. And yeah, there's the temple. Yeah, these people are wicked. Let's go straight to the scripts though. Have it here in Amos 5, that same name of Moloch here. And this is why the Israelites, or part of why the Israelites went into captivity, why we got the Deuteronomy 28 curses put on us, was for doing this. And so these same people, the Edomites, the Edomites being the self-proclaimed white man, including those tiny tops, those are Edomites. Not every single white person, not every single tiny top is an Edomite, but for the most part, that's who they are. And this is one of the gods that they worship. They've taken on Babylonian gods and Egyptian gods and all these ancient devilish deities, and if the Israelites got punished for it, they are going to be punished for it in double, as the scripts say. But Amos 5:25, have ye offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Israel? The Israelites being the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as our scattered. So we're going to come back looking like all the other nations, even like the tiny tops, even like looking like Edomites. But they go back through the seed of their father through to an Israelite. We sacrificed to the Lord 40 years in the wilderness. And he says, but ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, and Chiun, your images, the star of your power, which you made to yourselves. And you could only imagine which star this is. Which is the same star that Jazzy Jeff and his people were, the people in the land. That's that star. It says, therefore, Will I cause you to go into captivity beyond Damascus, saith the Lord, whose name is the power of hosts. We went into captivity for doing these exact same things. And so they're about to go into captivity for doing these wicked things. But let's go get that name, Moloch. And it's Strong's H 4432, Malak, which means king. This is the god of the Ammonites and Phoenicians, to whom some Israelites sacrificed their infants in the valley of Hinnom. And that's exactly what those people are doing on that island in those temples. And they're doing it all around the world. These people are in power, and they worship left-hand deities, and these left-hand deities require sacrifice. That's why they even have these clinics, these proud parent clinics set up all throughout the U.S. because they're taking these children. But it says, always with art, Moloch, an idol of the Ammonites, who was also at various times worshipped by the Israelites in the valley of Hinnom, who offered human sacrifices to him. It says also called. It says according to the rabbins, his statue was of brass with a human form, but the head of an ox. It was hollow within and heated from below, and the children to be sacrificed were cast into its arms. And in like manner, it's the statue of Saturn among the Carthaginians, described by Diodorus. Compare my observations on the religion of the Phoeni in Gruber's Encyclopedia. The Moloch of the Ammonites and the Saturn of the Carthaginians both represented the planet Saturn. And that's why you have a Saturday. It's in reference to the planet Saturn. And that's also where you get Satan from, which Satan goes into adversary, and these are the people of Satan. And even on the top of Saturn, there's supposedly a star that looks just like that same star that these tiny tops use all the time. But since we said, so I typed in seal of Saturn, star of David. And you can see it right here. This is everywhere. It's on the seal of the U.S. And this is actually called a hexagram. This is what you put curses on people with. And so they use the 6-pointed star, and they use a 5-pointed star. The hexagram and the pentagram. These are symbols of witchcraft. This isn't, see, Saturn Storm Cube, the star of Remphan. Here is Moloch. You see the child within his arms and the fire lit in there. What is that? See these things. You see it on their flag. These are the wicked of the Bible. See it here on the false prophet, the star of Remphan, the seal of Solomon. All the same thing. And look, talisman of Saturn. You've got the pentagram, and you have the hexagram, and you've got Moloch's head right there in the middle. These people are Satanists, and they're being revealed to be such. This is the wicked of the Bible, the hypocrite, and just flat out evil people. Hexagram. There's Aleister Crowley, the most wicked man in all of the world. But he's just one of them. Yeah. You see this stuff? These are the wicked, and this wicked, they're being revealed for what they are. Let's go to, actually, just since we mentioned it, Second Thessalonians, because this wicked is being revealed. Second Thessalonians 2 and 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. Israel fell away from their heritage, and while they fell away from their heritage, the Edomites took on that heritage. They took on the Bible and started calling themselves the people of the Lord and calling themselves Christians, but they are the men of sin. They are the wicked. It says, and that man of sin be revealed. They are being revealed. They're not the Christians. They're not the people of the Lord. They're the children, the sons and daughters of Esau, Edom. It says the son of perdition, just destruction. And it's all of them, just like it says Malachi 1 and 4. Malachi 1 and 4, it says, whereas Edom, so-called white people, including those tiny tops, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Lord of armies, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them, so plural, the border of wickedness, because wherever they go, they bring wickedness and death and hell. And the people, so plural, it's not just the man of sin, it's their whole nation. The people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. That's righteous anger. Because of what you're doing, it makes complete sense why you would be in trouble. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 3. You guys are doing the same works that had the Canaanites kicked out of the land and then inhabited by the Israelites. And then the Israelites started doing those things and got kicked out of the land. You're doing those things now, and you're about to be spewed out of the land. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land. So the Perizzites, all those Phoenicians. I mean, the Philistines. The Perizzites, Salakia. Yeah, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Hivites. And the Jebusites. They were doing these things. And they got spewed out of the land. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers, so by the hands of the Israelites, both those old inhabitants of thy holy land. Land of Canaan. Those Canaanites got spewed out of there for doing these same things. It says, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts. And so it's trying to say they're not doing witchcraft, but they are doing witchcraft. Don't believe anything painting the Edomites as anything but. They're a bunch of warlocks and Satanists, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. That's what they're doing in that temple that people are calling Temple to Moloch. It is. They're trying to, and then the Hindustan Times is trying to make it seem like these people are just crazy. No, this has been going on for a very long time, and it's being revealed, which means they are about to be judged. Whether they're doing the revealing or not, they're about to be judged. And they're sacrificing. They're making massive amounts of sacrifices. Verse 5, and also those merciless murderers of children. All of the people that have power within this world, the president of the free world, the leader of the free world, and all his cronies. You're seeing it all around. You're seeing it across the pond, UK. These high ups, these entertainers, these celebrities, these really rich people, they're doing these things, and it's being revealed that they're They're just Satanists. They are wicked, wicked people. And also those merciless murderers of children, taking the A to the chrome from these children, terrifying them and then drawing their blood from them. And devourers of man's flesh, we're seeing that they're committing cannibalism. And they've been doing it a long time. The delectable Negro. They love eating Jake. They like eating people because this is the man of sin. And it says, and the feast of blood. Or said not to eat the blood because the life is within the blood. With their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, which I believe that that Jazzy Jeff guy was one of these high priests. And the parents that killed with their own hands. You're seeing these clinics everywhere, as well as within that stuff that they were doing on that island and other places around the world. We're seeing parents bring their children in to pass through the fire of Moloch, that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. These children can't do anything to get out of that. They're helpless. These people are sacrificing them. It says that that the land which thou esteemest above all other, the land of Israel, might receive a worthy colony of the Most High's children. They're about to be spewed out, and the kingdom of heaven is about to start. Finishing up here, in which the Bishop Atazawan brought this one out during camp from the GNV, from the Geneva Bible, Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against the worldly governors. These people here on the earth that are in high position. They're in a highly favored position. I gotta go get this one now, because it shows. Isaiah 26 and verse 10. It says, let favor be showed to the wicked. The wicked are the Edomites. The Edomites are so-called white people, including those tiny tops. Again, not every single one of them, but the ones that do come from Esau, Edom, via their father's lineage, that's the wicked. And favor is being showed to them. They've got the fatness of the earth. They have the Lord's land. They have their blessing of the sword. And these are the CEOs. These are the richest people in the world. And most influential people in the world. Look up, start with your Rothschilds, go on down from there. They're in a highly favored position. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. These documents tell you everything you need to know. They can't learn righteousness. They were made crooked. And they can't make something that's made crooked straight. It's in the land of uprightness, in the land of Israel, will he deal unjustly. And they were doing that with those Ishmaelites pretending to be the ancient Philistines. They're doing that now with the big G word. They're dealing unjustly and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Instead of going through his Bible, they use the mud towel. No book's going to make her mate. You can't join a wicked, evil book like that. Even look at that book. You read the things that are in it, and it's, of course, they're doing these odious works of witchcraft and these mercilessly murdering these children. Of course they are. Look at the book they use. But they're in a highly favored position, and even there, they're just doing wickedness. But these are the worldly governors. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against the worldly governors. These are what the worldly governors are doing. They're eating and taking children, sacrificing them. They're doing wicked, satanic things. It says the princes of the darkness of this world, the elite of the nation of Edom, as well as the elite of the other nations. But even then, most of them are Edomites. They're in high place doing advanced wickedness, against spiritual wickedness, what the princes of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness, which are in high places. Even you look at Christianity. Christianity is spiritual wickedness in high places because it's not the truth. It's not the Lord's true name. They celebrate pagan holidays. They say the law's done away with, and they're not even calling out these wicked people for doing these odious works of witchcraft. This place is falling because the truth is coming out, and it couldn't come. Just come on, it's getting close. This man of sin is being revealed, and this gospel's gone out, and the end is coming. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, all praise, all honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.